You can't go past the scores that we saw last year from not only the under-20 sides that were playing this comp last year, but also some of the schoolboy talent we saw later in the year. These New Zealand sides, they're not strangers to putting north of 50 points on the board. And the Fijians, they're going to have it's a big thing. First out of the rack to have take on the reigning champions of this competition.
Very, very going to be very nervous times for both teams, but obviously a lot of young fellas out here this afternoon getting their start. And after this game this afternoon, Japan versus Australia, which is a great doubleheader of a rugby union here at Bond University this afternoon. As we see both teams coming out, we're going to be listening to their respective anthems and both war cries.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you please stand for the national anthem of Fiji. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem of New Zealand.
Well, there we go. Both national anthems, Fiji and New Zealand. Marty, there was a few passionate sing-songs in there. Absolutely sensational. Both with a lot of passion. Looking forward to this one.
Oh, Chet's, there always is. There's so much passion for this game in the Pacific Islands, and what we're about to watch is just another part of it, and it's exciting to be here to watch it, and it's going to be equally exciting for everyone at home to watch it as well.
What a great shot that is. Here we go.
And now the New Zealand haka.
So there we have it. Fiji and New Zealand, anthems, war cries, it's ready to go. What great camera work. It feels like you're just there, Marty. That was a good run through the wall mentality.
And the Fijians are getting ready for it, Chet. It's pretty exciting. First kickoff. It's going to be interesting to see how both teams are going to feel each other out here in the opening minutes. Now, New Zealand, you know, best team the last few years. They've got everything to lose. The Fijians, can they put an upset here? Can they get some early points on this side? We're just going to have to wait and see.
So the New Zealand team now huddling in. As we said, New Zealand have been the champions for the last number of years here at the Oceania Rugby Championships. So as the sun sets on the beautiful Gold Coast afternoon, welcome to everybody around the Pacific joining us.
Around the world?
Around the world even. So it looks like New Zealand, number 10, Fergus Burke, going to kick off this afternoon, get this Oceania Rugby Championships underway for 2019. So here we go. Kick off. Goes down close to the 22-metre line. Fiji take the ball well. Good charging run, missed tackle early by the New Zealand team. Halfback is Kuruvule. Big ruck up the middle. Early filling out by Caleb Muntz. Fiji not wanting to go to the line, having a look on the outside of that number 15 channel. Marty No kicking early in the game, so do you reckon this is going to be a trait by Fiji all day?
Fiji, Chets, they've had a lot of pressure on so far inside their own 22. They could be looking for that exit, but I think New Zealand are just being really great off the line defensively at the moment.
So back inside the 22. Caleb Muntz kicking, doesn't find the line. Back to the left, fullback, which is Toala. Toala breaks through one tackle, over the top, comes off the head of the Fijian defender. Momo. Fiji have to be good here in defence. Big, quick, short ball for the New Zealanders. Rumbling up the middle, finds his stomach, New Zealand over the top. Carter directing traffic, he's through that line. The big number 6 is Finau. Finau offloading. Just a short little knock on there, Marty.
Yeah, they lost it there. The New Zealand players, they're trying to play it tight. They're looking for those little offloads moments before contact. And we just see that little knock on there from Lalo Milo there. It was... it shows that they're really trying to press their advantage. They're trying to attack up to the line. But even more exciting now, we get to see the first scrum of the day, Chets. Both sides have big packs. As I was around during warm-up, both sets of 8 look really impressive. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. I'm pretty excited.
So the first scrum of the afternoon. As the sun sets down New Zealand. Plenty of chat here by the number 9, Leroy Carter. Very good touches early on in the piece of number 9.
Yeah, the front row of Nataver and Ika Nivera and Nasa Roa. They're going to have to dig in deep here, the front row for Fiji. They're still right on their front door, so they're going to need to win this one and have some good attacking phase play after the scrum if they want to keep New Zealand, keep the Wolves out.
Well, exactly right, Marty. I think it's really important they get a good, strong base in this scrum. So referee packing down the scrum for the second time. Scrum half Simone Kuruvole. Look at that, 2 front rowers battling it out. Back to Muntz. Right foot kick, getting out of trouble. That's a good nudge there. Back to the fullback. Toala. Toala looks up. He wants to go to the left-hand side. Made some room before. Toala gets out to his number 11 is Gilbert. Sloppy ball at the back door there. Finau, big, lanky, blindside flanker. No, referee says no, Marty. Bit of a close one.
It's the numbers game at those breakdowns, Chets, and the Fijians. They're trying to put some pressure on New Zealand at the ruck, at the breakdown, but this time, just not getting it the right way. And unfortunately, now New Zealand are going to get to kick their way down into Fijian territory and mount a counter-attack.
So Fiji looking pretty strong in the opening minutes here this afternoon and keeping that ball in. No, Touchy says no, goes out.
And you'll just see here, Chets, they were moving up really well. Finau goes in. Too many bodies to that breakdown. And it was never going to fly for the Fijians.
Ollie Norris saw the back of the Fijian back and thought, hello, we're going to take that every day of the week. So, fine. Girahu over the top there. Number 4 is Akui out the back door. And this number 11, Gilbert. He's been very busy this afternoon. 7 or 8 metres out. The number 8, Flanders, takes a rumble up the middle. Fiji will have to be good here to stop the Kiwis. Left-hand side, inside ball to that big number 6 again. Finau. Patience is the key. Cut out ball. There could be numbers here. No. Fiji close to the task. Inside ball. McLeod taking over the sideline. A bit of push and shove. So that was good defence, Marty, by the Fijian on their line.
Leave it alone.
Yeah, the Fijians did really well there, Chets. New Zealand really trying to throw that ball around, find an in down the short side. But nevertheless, Fiji, they're holding on just enough here, and they've got to win this line out, make something happen.
Ekanavare takes off from hooker. Offloading in their own 22-metre line. A lot of talk out there, as you can hear. The ball's there for the halfback. Kuruvole kicks on the right boot. Again, Gilbert goes with fullback. Toala sees a gap, is shut down very quickly. Picks up, keeps going. Carter looks at his big prop. There's this little short passing, Marty. I think they're trying to get on the outside of the Fiji numbers.
Yeah, they're playing it really tight off speak. Put the blocker on them, they passed out wide. And now some loose pill on the ground, Chets. Fiji, they're just being patient and waiting for it.
That's it. So, really good. Over the top, they're very, very strong by the number 14, Rasuka. And you're right, I think, Marty, what you said before, defensively of the Fijians coming up and really putting pressure on the New Zealand attack.
Well, that's the thing. We know that New Zealand, time and time again, they bring the razzle-dazzle. They always impress in every facet of the game. But it looks like the Fijians, they're really bunkering down, and defensively, they're holding New Zealand out. And this is a massive achievement now. They're back up in the New Zealand end of the field, and they've got a good attacking platform to go forward.
So Natoa Akui is down on the ground, receiving some attention to his right ankle.
Quick as you can for me, gents. Yeah.
Strapping and continuing at this stage.
Indeed.
So you're right, Marty, exactly what you said before in regards to the Fiji, very patient in defence and then putting pressure on New Zealand when in defence, which has really turned the ball over and got some dominance.
Yeah, and we're also seeing this New Zealand side, We're seeing a lot of short, sharp passes from Carter and Burke, the halves pairing for New Zealand. They're doing the little tip-ons, the little passes before contact. They're great to do, but they've got to be coming off. And right now, the Fijian defence, they're reading it quite well, and they're putting pressure on. You'd always want to say to New Zealand, if they just keep it simple and play to the strength that we know that they have, they might have gotten across the line already, but that's got to go off to Fiji.
So the Fijian skipper, Ikanavare, to throw the ball in. Goes up the back. Off the top, no.
He's still in the air.
That'll never
He's still in the air.
Chetts can't interfere with the man going up.
Contact in the air.
So big opportunity for Fiji here.
Yeah, they seem to be a bit of all sorts, mirror in the air, but you're exactly right, taking it out in the air. So this gives Fiji another opportunity inside the New Zealand half.
And Chets, I'm really hoping that Fiji, this is a massive opportunity in the opening 7-8 minutes of play. And you'll see in this lineup, they go up the back. It was really well done by Fiji. They executed the line out well, but that'll never fly. Va'ai, he's thrown that hand up while the man was still there, and he's trying to plead with the ref and say, come on. But now Fiji, 6 metres out.
So Ikanavare, let's see what they have in their bag of tricks. Up in the middle, 5 metres out, New Zealand equal to the task. Rumbling through the middle, New Zealand bring the ball down. Referee says that's okay. Scrum half, Kuruvarale.
And that's just really well done by New Zealand, and we're going to get to that replay, and you're going to see they learned from the mistake about a minute ago. They didn't touch the man in the air,
So
but that man
it down,
right
so
there,
turnover scrum. Okay.
Notora Koi, he just wrapped him up. Wrapped him up like a burrito, and that was it. It was never going to come out. And that's really smart, really aggressive style of dealing with a driving ball 5 metres out from your own line.
And that's just patience, isn't it? Yeah, and you fix your mistakes on the run. So here we go. Leroy Carter to feed the scrum.
Crouch! Bind!
So we see pressure from the Fijian scrum. New Zealand equal the task. Ball comes out between the flanker. Rumbling to here we go. Oh, good contact by Kuruvarale. Small man on McLeod.
Clear release, please. 7, that's twice. Clear release.
And this is a real shame here, Chets. Fiji battled their way up to the strike zone, got in New Zealand's red zone, and a couple of penalties have undone it.
So referee calling number 7, Loloa, out for a couple of infringements there.
But I have to say, Chet, having been involved with these matches over the last few years, this is probably one of the most impressive opening parts to a game against New Zealand that we've seen. Fiji have kept them scoreless. They're sure they haven't scored themselves, but big result. And New Zealand are on the charge now.
So Carter with a near pick up and go at the front there, coming around. Kirasoon. Little short ball there to the big prop forward, Ukalakabi. Big jumping tackle by Caleb Muntz. Here we go again. Pick over the top of the right foot boot.
You're offside.
Well, the referee called that very early, didn't he, Marty? And yeah, it was a right idea, but Fiji equal to the task one more time.
I've already said it so far this game, Chets. There's been a lot of attempted razzle-dazzle from this New Zealand side. And here it is, actually razzle-dazzle working really well. Great line from Carter, gets away, works with his front rowers, and then as they spread it across there, looking for the cross-field kick, I think they've got to show the Fijians a little bit more respect, because we all know Fijians, they're some of the best players in the air going around. You've got to pay your dues before you want to try and put that over the top of them, literally.
So yeah, just a little bit offside there, the big Sam Gilbert. He's a likely lad this afternoon. Gilbert, give him a bit of open opportunity, and I think we're going to see some real jets from him. So Fiji now, 10 minutes gone in this game. Ikanavare, the big fella, number 4, Waka, hits the deck. The big winger comes in for some work. Looking to the right-hand side, numbers out there if they use it. The big number 6 one more time, popping away. Here's that Fijian magic we love to see. Ikanavare, again the skipper, getting very involved. Waka taking up their tackle by Keru Signs, but the turnover's there, Marty. So how disappointing for the Fijians.
Yeah, that's going to hurt the confidence. They were stringing together some really impressive phase play, and they're going to give away the knock on here. So New Zealand not out of the pressure cooker yet. They get to feed their own scrum. But, this is actually a sign. They've been down their own end of the field now for the last 4 or 5 minutes. Probably a little bit unfamiliar.
That's it. Look at number 7, Loloa, go over the ball there. Even though he was playing advantage, that was great over the ball play by the number 7. But, Marty, we saw a little bit of razzle-dazzle by Fiji. What we know the Fijians are all about, throw the ball around in traffic.
It is, and it's something that they're very familiar with. His face is looking like a bit of a bucket of smashed crabs, and probably not the best colour jersey to have when you have a bit of a broken schnoz. But, no, the Fijians, Chets, they seem to be in control for what they're doing a lot with what they've got. New Zealand's had a fair bit of possession, and, yeah, Fiji's made a few errors, but the Fijians, they're really making it count when they get their hands on the ball.
Well, we go back to, like you said, you've been around watching these competitions for the last few years, and it's been a really stirring effort by the Fijians in the last 11 and a half minutes. Obviously got New Zealand rattled a touch too.
Well, it's got to be, like I said, it's unfamiliar for the New Zealanders. They're still under 20s. Now, a lot of these boys, they're playing for their local club side. They're playing in the Mitre 10 over and the ITM over in New Zealand, and they're coming over here. And I guess this is the thing about the game. It's a World Cup year. Obviously, the whole point of Oceania is to be growing the game in the region. And Fiji, we're seeing some positive signs of growth here. I can't get over how well the kicking game's been really good tonight from them so far. And another scrum to come. They can hopefully maybe get another line out inside the New Zealand half if they keep the pressure up.
And we're only 11 and a half minutes gone. How good's this? Some good rugby in the first 11 and a half minutes of this tournament. So, New Zealand with a scrum feed. So Carter with the ball. We're looking at some good purchase here by Burke to get him out of trouble. So we've had a bit of rain here in Queensland the last few days, a little bit over the last weekends, and walked across the field this afternoon. Very, very firm underfoot, so really good for running rugby this afternoon.
Well, Chets, it's been a really dry summer, and we have had a bit of rain over the last few weeks, which has been very welcome by everyone in southeast Queensland. But great field conditions here this afternoon at Bond. They've really set us up well.
So here we go. Carter with the scrum feed. Out to his number 10, looking to cut out long right foot kick. Gets out of trouble just outside the 22-metre line.
And that's really good to see from the New Zealand, showing a lot of respect to the Fijians right now. The Fijians are putting a lot of pressure on them, and they didn't try and get greedy for that clearance kick either. They weren't trying to kick to a man running on, but another big opportunity for Fiji. They're inside the New Zealand half. They're probably going to want to make something out of this.
So they have had a few shots down here, so let's see if they can convert some pressure. Ekanavare with the throw-in. Go to number 2. Off the top. Muntz looks for the big number 7, been busy this afternoon. The offload in traffic. Salo. Kuruvala looking for some runners. Not much happening there for Drosisi. Kuruvala one more time. He's looking for his big man. Fiji is just getting over that gain line at the moment, but unfortunately, there we go.
And this is a big moment here, Chets. They get the penalty. Now, this would be really interesting from the Fijians. They haven't been able to get across that line and find 5, but there is a real opportunity to come away with at least 3. And you've got to weigh it up. Are they back in the confidence to hunt for that 5, or are they going to hunt for the 3? Well, and they're running really well, like you said, over the advantage line. The players are there and support. So the only way New Zealand are getting close to that ball right now is they're infringing. So hats off to Fiji.
So the crowd here this afternoon for New Zealand and Fiji. Are you right, Marty? They're going for the points, the Fijians.
You've got to play the team in front of you, Chets, and New Zealand are formidable. And if you get the opportunity to get some points right now, especially if none have been scored in nearly 15 minutes, take it.
So Caleb Muntz, who's directed traffic with his scrum half partner, Kuruvole, this afternoon. Very, very, very strong. Strikes it. No, goes to the right-hand side, Marty, and there we go. That pressure's been taken off New Zealand.
Well, they're not completely out of the woods there. Yeah, that's not the best result, missing out on the 3, but it's going to have the 22 restart. So unless there's some crafty manoeuvres from the Kiwis, the Fijians, they could get their hands back on the ball and have another crack at it.
So, big deep kick downfield. Kuruvole looking for, no, steps right, steps left. Looking around for his runners, but nothing was there for him this time. Muntz at scrum half, calls his back line in. The big number 5 one more time. Minimbi, this time he gets put on his back by the New Zealand defensive line. Laloa, big strong runner with the ball, also been all over the ball this afternoon. New Zealand not committing to the breakdown. Kick over the top, there's a good chase here by Ramatatabua. Dancing around, beg your pardon, that's Drosisi. Gets on Drosisi, sticks to him, the big number 15.
That's great effort there, getting the man, committing to the tackle and making it happen. And once again, New Zealand under the pump. So Fiji holding onto the ball here, Chats.
Rasuku can't beat the tackle. New Zealand over the top of the ball, well presented back there. Feels like you're right in the middle of it, Muntz. They're changing their 9 and 10 combo. Bit slow to the breakdown, scrum half. Offloading out the back door. Minimbi. His second rowers like hanging around out there, Marty, I tell you what. One more time, Muntz. Show and go. There's numbers on the right-hand side here. The pop away to the number 21.
That's really unfortunate with Fijians, Chats. They really held on possession there, but New Zealand, they really kept the pressure on, and now they're going to get an opportunity. But there's bodies down everywhere on that field.
It looks like the Anzac Day, I tell you what, people are down everywhere. So Tuala, referee says, let's just hold up for a couple of minutes.
I'm not sure, they're both grabbed. We might have had a head clash potentially there, Chet, but we've got 2 players down. You don't want to see that, especially with these young blokes, the under-20s. It's a big honour for them to be over here playing, so we're going to have to wait and see what happens. But really impressed with the Fijians. They're holding on to it really well. They're playing, I feel they're playing a very simple brand of rugby this afternoon. It's keeping them in the game, and it's just playing the short. They're not looking for long. We haven't seen any crazy kicking ploys yet from them. So they're playing a simple game with good defence, and it's working.
And the first game of the tournament as well. You want to get a few cobwebs. I know they've had a couple of trials here and there, but get a few cobwebs out, get a few combos, and look, they're doing very well with stuff. And also New Zealand as well. Look, obviously not too sure how many games these guys have played with each other, but I'm sure they all know each other somehow or other. And yeah, showing some real good sparks so far.
Well, from what I can remember of this New Zealand side, we're seeing around 8 or 9 players that are returning this year from playing in the same competition last year. So they get a lot of opportunity, I think, to play against one another. And we all know about the progressional system over in New Zealand and its strengths. So when they come together and they get to play here, they're all aware of one another. They've got a lot of experience with one another. And, it's the national sport pretty much over there, Chets. They just live and breathe. Look, rugby.
As soon as someone goes down, there's 2 or 3 other just as good guys to slot in, and that's what is very frustrating from an Australian point of view as well.
Probably some itchy seats on the bench once those 2 went down.
Okay, so scrum down here, 17 minutes gone in the game. Carter with a feed. Good scrum by both teams. That number 11 again, Gilbert getting right over into the action. And here we go, the New Zealanders now going straight up the middle. Fiji is going to have to be good here with defence. Flanders, referee knock on. But Marty, I think they might have heard you go through the middle, this pick and drive and go. And that's the numbers game. There you see this right now.
Yeah, a lot more simple. We see New Zealand, they're running up through the middle. It's just unfortunate that the ball gets spat out there and they lose it after getting some good momentum. But you saw a bit of ticker on the field from Quinn Tupaia, getting a bit zesty with one of the Fijians. So obviously, you know, it's 0-0 after 18 minutes. Adrenaline's got to be pumping high for both these teams right now, and I'm really excited to see who's going to get across and get the first points.
Well, I suppose like any game, isn't it? Go back to the basics and go back to what you know. And New Zealand pick and drive and go on there. And the frustration side of it, if people are starting to get a bit snipey, you know you're starting to frustrate them a little bit.
Well, most of them are in the 18 and 19 chats. I know it's been a long time for you, but not so long for me. But, you know, it's a trying time being an 18, 19-year-old boy.
Might have to turn up my hearing aid a bit, Marty. So Kuruvole with the scrum feed. Good scrum by New Zealand, destroying that Fijian scrum. There we go.
Yeah, that's really good to see for New Zealand. It's the first scrum of the night where we've actually seen a side really dominate, and they picked a really good time. And we'll see they got that shove on, and they literally got the front row of Fiji up off the ground, and it was just hell for leather, go straight through the middle, great solid push. And now they have it in front, and really smart, shows a lot of respect for your opposition when they get this opportunity to take the three. Fiji did the same thing up the other end, but they want to get this 3 points, they want to get back, receive the kickoff, and start again.
So looking at that scrum before, getting right under their front row, that was maybe Fiji just a little bit out of whack on their structures, but New Zealand really took advantage of the strength of their scrum. So strikes it well, makes no mistake. New Zealand with the first points of the afternoon. 3-0. Fergus Burke taking that first kick of the afternoon. So we've had plenty of casualties this afternoon, plenty of blood already.
We're only 20 minutes in.
20 minutes in.
Wonderful conditions out here at Bond University Sheds. It's just a real pleasant afternoon.
So plenty of feeling in this game this afternoon. This is not a warm-up or anything. This is actually full-on international rugby. It's sensational. So it goes deep in the 22-metre. Right foot boot. Gets plenty on it. Plenty on it. That is a sensational get-out-of-trouble kick right near the halfway line. Very strong. So Ikanavare, the skipper. Niembi off the top one more time. Back line there. Loloa back in the running between his 10 and 12. Muntz looks on the outside, want to get on the outside of New Zealand. New Zealand just equal to the task. Drasisi over the top of the ball. Flat ball, good contact by New Zealand, good line defence, and that's put New Zealand on the attack but in defence at the same time. If that made any sense at all.
No, it's really great from the New Zealand side there. You see they're coming up really fast on the defenders, and now they've gotten the turnover, Chets. They're going to switch straight into attack mode and go at the Fijians.
So this is dangerous time. Toiler puts on the boot. Bouncing rugby ball is not a very good sight, but here we go. Here goes Kuruvole. Good tackle by Toiler, who put the ball on the foot.
Yeah, great turnaround for New Zealand. After that three-pointer, they really lifted it up another gear. They have really put the pressure on defensively. They forced the ball out of Fiji's possession, and now they've got a line out inside the 40. I think they're starting to hit their rhythm, but I think we've got a bit of an injury potentially for Fiji. But the game must go on.
Akira Symes with the throw. Big run by Lolamio. Big number 14. Not taking any prisoners in that run. Number 8. is Flanders. Flanders is still going. He's going. He's got about 15 metres in traffic. New Zealand spot something on the left-hand side. The number 10 is Burke. Burke offloading to the big man Gilbert, who's been very busy for the first try of the afternoon. Marty.
Yeah, Sam Gilbert, he waited patiently for about 23 minutes on that left-hand side, and it was some really good running from Fergus Burke to break through the defenders. He got them all to turn. He took a couple of them with him, and then reaping the benefits out wide. And we see here it starts great run, great initiation from Flanders, and they're going to work it out to this left-hand side. Burke, great vision, sees the defence, splits them, gets through, cut-out pass, hits the man on the wing, and that is a great follow-up try for the visiting side, the New Zealanders. And now a pretty hairy kick by any means over on that far western side of the field, Chats.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gilbert's been very dangerous this afternoon. He's attacking raids and just Fergus Burke cutting out a player in traffic. That was very talented by the talented number 10 for New Zealand. So Burke just pulls it round. Not good enough this time by Fergus Burke.
You know, it's pretty amazing, Chet. Since the inception of the Under-20s Championship in 2015, Oceania Rugby and host Rugby Australia, they've built this lasting partnership with Bond University. And Bond University, every year, they get us back here. It's always a great atmosphere, great setup, great conditions. So, big shout out to those two or three organisations that are actually keeping this alive and rolling through every year.
Muntz with the kickoff one more time. Very high, but a little bit too deep for the fly half's liking. A looping Harbour Bridge pass to Tuala. He's been dominant this afternoon, the big fullback. Akui. Now New Zealand, Fiji have got to be careful in their defence now because New Zealand are hitting that advantage line every single time.
There's another injury in back play there for the Kiwis, Chets.
So Cullen Grace, the 21, coming off the bench early. Inside, outside run by Carter. Bit scrappy at the back, puts boot to ball by Burke. Fullback puts a big right foot kick up.
He's going to have to get up here and chase this, Chet. They've got numbers out the left.
So Tuala looking out to his winger, the try-scoring winger. Gilbert can't get around his opposite number. Good contact there by the Fijian players. Referee says no. Knee was on the ground, has to release.
And then I think New Zealand, we've got to keep an eye on the number 15, the fullback here, Tuala. He's got a bit of a sore arm. But look at the effort that Tuala did. He's come through. He's got something going on with that right-hand arm. But they drive themselves another 2 or 3 off. And you can see he's grabbing at the arm there. So might see another casualty maybe jumping off the field.
So New Zealand getting the penalty. 8-0.
So big attacking opportunity for New Zealand here. They're inside the Fijian half. They really want to have a snappy line out and get back over that try line again.
Guerrero signs with a throw. La'ai off the top one more time. That winger again to McLeod. McLeod with good strong legs. Fiji over the top of the ball. Referee says get out of there. Going straight through the middle. Like you called, Marty, should be. That's the way to go.
Yeah, they're starting to use those front rollers really well. They're keeping them in a tight pod and it's really paying off.
So Tupaia breaks the first tackle. Keeps going Tupaia. New Zealand making yards every single time. Inside ball to the big Lalamilo. Scrum half looks around for the big boys, but goes to number 10, Burke. Fiji getting their numbers on the left-hand side. Not the greatest 2 passes in the world.
Oh, they've recovered here, Chats. Fiji waited.
Kuruvole with a kick. Burke looking around. Looks to his fullback one more time. Seems to have recovered from that arm injury. Referee Right, Johnny on the spot. Fiji equal to the task and penalty to Fiji. That's just numbers on the ball there, Marty. That was great work by Fiji.
Yeah, really good work from the Fijians. New Zealand really spent the last, 8 to 9 minutes in the driver's seat. They were really dictating the game, but the Fijians stayed patient. They waited till they got that little opportunity to turn it over, and now they've turned it into some really great field position up the other end. And they're hunting for that line, which is it's really good. Shows that they've got the confidence there. They're going to back their line out, and they're just outside the 22, so they've got a little bit of territory to make up to find a potential 5 points, but it's going to be interesting.
So in the background, another New Zealand player down. I think that could be the 15. So up, low at the back door. Munsell at number 12. Here we go. Look, New Zealand. Oh,
hammer
great
time.
tackle. Lalamilo saw that, and happy days for the big number 14.
That one's been brewing all afternoon. It was a great line out from the Fijians, but not moving too quick, very flat. Lalamio just waited and sandbagged him into next year.
Well, I think they won't be giving those Harbour Bridge passes, and I don't blame you, my friend, for being on the ground after that one there.
It's a really hard one here for the Fijians. They were within striking distance. It was a real positive field position, but the Kiwis, they really switched it on. We've seen that great line speed in defence, and right now they're absolutely lighting it up. They're getting in there, they're making great contacts, and it's only going to do wonders for their confidence on the field now.
I'm not too sure if that guy's his ribs are in Wednesday now, but it was a very hard hit, but I'm glad he's up.
Very technical here too, very clean looking tackle, and nothing wrong with it at all. He's probably just had the wind knocked out of him, rightly so. Once more, bang, right on the shorts. It's textbook, and you can't ask some more
So
than that as a coach.
Momo's come over from the right-hand wing, and the left-hand winger, Lalamilo, equal to the task. So an enjoyable first 30 minutes, a good arm wrestle this afternoon. New Zealand not having all their own way. So Kuruvale to feed the ball. As we see a good strong scrum. Right hand side. Numbers over here, but New Zealand are hamming up. Good tackle by Tupaia. He's very busy this afternoon, Lolo. Lolo keep going through the New Zealand defence, but a small little knock on there.
Yeah, the New Zealand defensive structure has been really tight in the last half an hour of play. We're seeing that they're just keeping it constant. They're keeping it on the Fijians, and they're just waiting until the Fijians make the error to get that ball back. And so the interesting thing of it now, are they going to once again hunt for that touch line, or do you think they've got enough confidence that we're going to see them maybe try run it out through the hands, through that exceptional back line that really in the last half an hour they haven't been all that involved?
Well, is it the prize fight, isn't it? Few jabs, and when's the knockout blow going to happen? And that's like you said, that's the question. What's going to happen now? So as Leroy Carter feeds the ball out to that back line, puts on the right foot all the way back.
It's a clean touch there from Burke.
So Wagga looks, chip and chase. Here we go. Referee will have a look at that, but he says that was just accidental there, I think, Marty.
Comes through. We're going to watch the replay here, and like you see, you got to be really careful with the stuff in the air these days, Chets, and we've seen a whole host of players over the last kind of 12, 24 months really be punished quite severely for playing men in the air and dangerous manoeuvres. I guess it's one of the things that's changed a lot in the game over the last probably 5 to 10 years. We've seen a lot bigger emphasis on player safety because at the end of the day, it is just a game. It is a sport. We don't want to see people getting out there getting injured. Unfortunately, it does happen from time to time, but if we can try and avoid it as much as we can, it's good for everyone.
So really the big man going up in the air, and he had a long way to come down too, so pretty lucky in that regard.
Yeah, gravity's a nasty thing.
So.
Wow, bold. So bold. I'm a big fan of this.
What do we got there? Just on the halfway line there. It's going to be a big, big kick.
Well, he's smack bang in front. He's. I hope he's had a few wee picks this morning, because that's going to be, I'd probably say about 55 on the fly that he's going to need to get over this line.
So Kuravale with the kick. Big strike. Got the distance. A little bit to the right. You're exactly right, Marty. I think you've picked that absolutely perfectly. 55 on the fly easily. There we go.
He needed it, but just didn't have the line.
But again, coming away just before half-time with at least 3 points is a bit of a confidence booster for the Fijian team, because I tell you what, they've been very good this afternoon for the first 33 minutes.
They've got to be careful though. Sides like New Zealand, they don't put on, north of 50, north of 70 points in a game without being able to do a lot of damage in a short amount of time. The Fijians have got to stay switched on up until this half time and not let any small gaps. They've had a fantastic opening 34 minutes. They've just got to keep this up and keep going, and that is not what they need.
So the big cutout ball turning around from Flanders out there to Burke and shifting the ball on the left-hand side, where they see a little bit of opening from the Fijian, because the Fijian fullback was in the play before. He's done well, the little fullback. Look to the right-hand side. Here we go. Momo, the big winger, gets plenty of action this afternoon. The man injured before was too. Good contact by Va'ai. Knees on the ground, referee says play on. Muntz with nothing much happening there, right and left foot step. New Zealand not committing to the breakdown. Looking to the big boppers now, going straight over the top. The two big men collide on the right-hand side of the park. Inside ball, referee, so that was okay. Here we go.
Real tidy.
Ramo Tatubua. Right-hand side is
Oh
Rugger.
no, and he's kicked it right into his hands.
So there's that pressure valve taken off by Fiji one more time. So Fiji with a quick tap. Play the ball, the skipper. The skipper takes it to the 5 metre line. They're 5 metres out. Fiji, what are we going to see just for half time? Momo out the back door. The big number 18. He sees his prop forward. Oh, that's a bone rattler again. That is another bone rattler by Lalamilo. There's numbers on the left-hand side. There's going to be a try scored to the Fijians. It's a try. Rasuka.
That was really big by the Fijians. Almost a coach killer there. Mira had space for days, and we should see it on the replay. And I thought that was going to be all over Red Rover, but they kept it alive. They kept it moving. Really neat. And you see they worked it so well down this right-hand side. That crispy little inside ball to find Ramato Tabua, and then he kept going, but then we thought it was all over with that kick, but then eventually they work it back out to that left-hand side, and it is a fantastic try for Rasako. Great try for the winger, and it gets Fiji back into the game. Conversion to come. It could be a 1-point game.
Well, that was Fiji and rugby at its best, and New Zealand did their very best to try to stop that with Lalamilo one more time with a big bone-rattling hit. Wasn't good enough this time. Makes no mistake this time.
And there we go, Chet's 1-point ball game. Now, the thing is we've got to remember is these sides have all brought big squads with them. So these boys, a lot of them, they're going to be getting 40, 50 minutes of game time. So we're going to see a big revolving door happen at half-time or soon thereafter. So they can't leave anything on the field today.
So Fergus Burke with a kickoff. Momo, who started everything, kicks the ball out. Doesn't want to run it this time. Not the greatest touch finder in the world. I think he's more of a running winger than a kicker. Like I said before, Marty, I walked past the teams before and I thought I was standing next to the forwards, but the backs. There are some big human beings for 18, 19-year-olds out there. So the skipper one more time to throw the ball. That's a 22-metre line you can see right there.
Taken very well up the top by Vi.
So a bit of a kick through. Something there. Pops up ball.
Wow,
The rugby ball. The big number 30. No, referee's right on the spot. Try time.
Gets it.
Try time to Tupaia. Well, a kick in the opposition's 22, Marty. That's an interesting play.
Yeah, very bold. It's been a really tight game, and I think the New Zealand know they've got to play that field position. They enlisted the razzle-dazzle. It always does them well. They moved quickly off the back of that breakdown. He saw the mismatch there, and he backed the man in. Quinn Tupaia is quite a strong ball runner. Took three of them along. He dragged them all the way there, and eventually he just had to do that little roll to get himself over the line. But it's like I said, New Zealand in a very small amount of time can inflict a lot of damage to sides. You can't back off. And if we can take it all the way back, it wasn't the greatest exit. We can take it all the way back to that exit kick, and it's cost them 7 points.
So I beg your pardon, Burke with a conversion.
Conversion successful. Score now New Zealand 15, Fiji 7.
So 15-7. New Zealand heading back just before half time. So Khaled Muntz one more time with a kickoff. This should be close to the end of this half. Kickoff goes high. Great kickoff. Drosisi takes the ball out of New Zealand players' hands. This is one more chance just before half time for the Fijian players. Looking on the right, New Zealand come out, broken line defence. Muntz. That's what Fijians want, some broken line defence.
Yeah, the Fijians, Chets, they're really trying to get themselves across the line in the dying minutes of this first half.
One more time, the big number 4 on the outside, the try scorer from before. Flick pass, too high. Too high, Marty, unfortunately.
Much too much. So New Zealand, they've gone the quick line out straight away. Oh, great tackle.
So New Zealand trying to pull the Fijians' pants down, but Lalomilo knocking the ball down.
And we talked about up the other end, how the Fijians, they undercooked that exit kick, really invited New Zealand to come across. We go 2 minutes later, and New Zealand, they've gone for a bit of a cheeky, fast line out inside their own 22. It's completely backfired. And now we get to see Fiji. They're going to get one last roll of the dice before half-time.
So just inviting Fiji back into this game. So here we go. Vale with this scrum feed. Pressure by New Zealand picked up by the number 8. Wraparound play. See some numbers. New Zealand coming out of the line very fast.
They have
Muntz.
so many players out wide.
Has overcooked it, unfortunately, Muntz. And that's a great pick up by Toala. The fullback coming out of the line. Looking round. No pressure here. Goes for the kick.
That's a hell of a box kick.
That's a box kick and a half. Kuavala looking for his winger, the try-scoring winger, right foot, left foot step, tries to get through, breaks 2 tackles, breaks 3, can't break it, the number 14's tackle. Lalomila, he's been dynamite this afternoon. New Zealand now have to be good, put on the right foot, will that ball stay in? The number 9 is Carter, it's a foot race. And Drosisi wrapped that ball up.
He played that really well, Chets. He waited for the ball to get across the try line because you can't carry it back inside and put it down to force the 22 restart. So that was really good vision there by the young Fijian to get around there. He had to time it perfectly because he knew there were 2 Kiwi runners hot on his tail. So it alleviates. We're nearly 2 minutes into overtime here, and you've got to beg the question, when is enough for these boys right now?
Well, we've seen plenty of injuries this afternoon, so I think referee might have a couple more minutes up his belt. New Zealand.
I didn't know referees wore belts, Michael.
Well, some of them do, I suppose. Flanders with a good rumble up the middle. Looking to exploiting the Fijian numbers on the left-hand side. There's McLeod. McLeod can't get through the tackle. Pick and drive one more time at number. Finau. Been quiet this afternoon, but been good in the tight. Norris takes 2 defenders with him. They're just seeing something on the left-hand side. Another kick from New Zealand.
Ping pong off the shoes.
So they're looking for the kick a couple of times here, which will be quite interesting from a Fijian perspective in their confidence. Ooh la la, the keeper just knocking on. And that's half-time, Marty. What a half-time of rugby. It's been a good half.
Well, that is. Under 20s, they've got 43 minutes into the half, so the back and forth is huge. Tight scoreline, 8 points of difference, 15 points to 7. And we see that just barnstorming runs from some of the New Zealand front rowers, and it's a really surprising scoreline for me, 15 to 7. I guarantee a lot of people would be coming into this. Anyone that's tuning in now, they're probably going to wonder, what's just happened in the first half. This is probably one of the smallest halftime deficits that we've seen for New Zealand in this competition over the last few years going into halftime.
Well, it's great to see at halftime, New Zealand leading 15, Fiji 7. We'll take halftime. We'll see you back for the second half action in a few minutes. Welcome back to the second half to the Oceania Under-20s Championship. We have New Zealand 15 leading Fiji Rugby 7. My name is Michael Chettle, and once again, Marty Lippiett, what a first half of rugby.
Yeah, it was a massive first half there, Chets. Fiji really stuck to their guns. A lot of patience in the Fijian side. We saw a couple of little bits of flair towards the end, but they've really played a consistent game. New Zealand, though, they've had their moments where they've had some real dominating passages of play that have come away with the points, but they've also had their fair share of errors as well, just the same as the Fijians. So it's really good to see, because it means that the competition is healthy, and it's showing that they're getting wise to one another's tricks and games. So it means they're going to have to find another level to seal a comfortable win here this evening.
Well, when you look at that, Marty, that last try just before half-time, New Zealand went to the boot and on the kick as well, so they couldn't go around them, had to go through them with a kick, so that's really confident building for the Fijian team. So kick-off for this second half action. Muntz with a kick-off, the right foot kick. Gets plenty of height on that take. New Zealand with a knock-on straight away. Good start for the Fijian team.
So by the looks of it, we don't have too many substitutions yet. We're probably going to wait until about that 50 to 60th minute. That's where I think we're going to see the front rows really get cycled through, because I think the other big part of this is it's about getting all your boys onto the field. We want to see all these boys over the course of the 3 matches that they're going to play between now and round 3. They want to get as much game time for all the boys as they can. They want to see what they're capable of. And with the level of scrumming that we've seen so far, we're going to have to see some front row rotations come eventually.
So Kuravole with the first feed of the second half. So short arm penalty. The scrum half takes a quick tap out the back door to Muntz. Muntz can't get his inside backs into play that early. For a small man, he's gone about 15 or 16 metres. Looking out there to Ramo Totabua. Ramo Totabua finds a defensive eye. There's a bit of push and shove in the back play there. Nothing to do with anything else. A big second rower with another rumble down the left-hand side of the park. Muntz again. Can't seem to just link up with his outside man at the moment. Lolo. Very busy this afternoon, like we said. Ball comes out the back. Referee says they're okay on that side. Drop ball one more time, unfortunately, for the Fijians. Quick turnaround for New Zealand.
Oh, wowee. He wore a big one in the first half, and now he's given one away in the second. This could see him going to the naughty box. That was...
I've got nothing but red. Anything?
Yeah, wowee. That's a sizable infringement.
You're exactly right, Marty. Just got a brush of blood, picked him up, and unfortunately, we might be seeing red here.
From your 11, he's lifted a man and he's landed on his head and neck, so it's got to be a red card. Okay, 11. 11. 11. It's a red card.
So Epeli Momo, the left winger for Fiji, is going to be spending some time in the naughty box, like you called it, Marty.
Yeah, okay.
Well, he's going to be spending at least the rest of today's game, and pending what happens after here, but we see he goes in, he gets up, and wow.
You'd have to agree. He could have pulled out of that one there. There was no need to lift him over that one there. So I think Momo might be in some trouble going from that one there.
Yeah.
So Fiji will be down to 14 men for the duration of the match.
Yeah, sure. Next scrum.
A massive opportunity here now for New Zealand on the back of that penalty, try and get some early points here in the second half.
Fine.
So Kiruhu Symes to throw the ball in. Fiji with a man down now for the rest of this game. It's going to be a long half for the Fijians. Over the top, Ululu Kepai offloading to his forward partner. New Zealand lining up in attack. Norris. Will he score? Norris only a couple of metres out. New Zealand looking to the right-hand side. The big number 5, he'll score. Tupuvai. Marty, that was just a matter of time then, wasn't it?
Yeah, great shot there by Norris. Really got that Fijian defensive line on the back foot, and then it was only a matter of time before the next available runner went across, and it was none other than Tupiva. He got a real good head of steam here, but Norris really dug in deep, breaks through one defender, two defenders, three defenders. It took 5 men, 6 men in total to get him down, and then it was easy times for Varo, who just had a bit of momentum coming in on a good line, and Carter just fed it to him.
Well, when you've taken that many defenders out of the defence line, there's always going to be numbers there. And when you've got a big body like Vi coming at you, there's always going to be trouble. Oof. Strikes it. Plenty of pressure there by the Fijian players. So 43 minutes gone. We've had plenty of action in the first 3 minutes, Marty.
Yeah, we have, and I'm a little bit fearful with that man down for the Fijians. New Zealand, they've got, you know, you don't need to give them a numerical advantage, but they have. So it can go two ways. The Fijians are either going to dig really deep and keep it competitive, or it's going to be a long 36 minutes.
So Finau was in open space and drops that ball clean. Very frustrating for the big number 6. Referee says we'll come back to the scrum. And exactly like you said, Marty, it was going to be rocks or diamonds there, and as unfortunately for Fiji, it was rocks. And from what you've seen the last few years in this tournament and that as well, is this the New Zealand mantra, just wear teams down, and like every New Zealand team, and strike when they see weakness?
I think the big thing with New Zealand sides, it's their core skill set. They're very well trained, and so a lot of times that other teams might have to communicate. A lot of the New Zealand sides, they don't have to do that. They know that the man is going to be there and support. They know that man's going to hold that defensive structure. And they're 80-minute teams, and I guess that's the big difference between their opponents sometimes, or 60-minute, depending if they're schoolboy. And the New Zealand sides, they're 80-minute teams, so we're probably going to see an increased scoring rate as we get to the back end of this half if Fiji, don't have some big push in the second half to slow them down.
So Munns tries to find his outside back partner. New Zealand now with numbers on the left or right-hand side. He can choose, McLeod can choose, and he goes out to the left-hand side, but goes over this touch line. And New Zealand just were like seagulls on a chip there, Marty. 5 or 6 players Fiji were in a lot in trouble.
And I think that's been the big thing all night tonight. There's been probably a handful of good opportunities for the New Zealanders, and they haven't been able to capitalise on all of them. And I think they're going to want to, by the time they come up against the Australians next week, they're going to want to have all those things stamped out. They're going to want to have it crisp. They're going to have it timed.
We're playing, yep.
So there's going to be a lot to take away from tonight's match.
Ekanavare one more time over the top. Good take by the big second rower for the Fijian players. Salo with a run, trying to get out of trouble. Still in their own 22. New Zealand player down one more time. There've been plenty of injuries this afternoon. Fiji are trying to go around New Zealand, but New Zealand happy defensively every single time. Ball comes out the back. Play on, says the referee. Josisi pushing that ball back. Change over by New Zealand. New Zealand looking at Lalamilo. Finau pick is a support player for now. New Zealand just picking and driving. Just done, that's under the 5-metre line. You can see right in front of you. Norris one more time, who started that try before. There's numbers on the left here for New Zealand if they use them. Cut out ball just goes behind. And Fiji now with an opportunity, but no, referee comes back to the first infringement.
Number 5, mate. Yeah. 5 and 3 offside.
Absolute bullet of a pass there. And great simple rugby, pick and driving. And they've really sucked in so many of the Fijian defenders. They get the advantage and they play a bit bold. Let's start looking out to that left. And you were 100% right. They had a man with half the field worth of clear space in front of him to the left of the posts, and the cutout pass just couldn't quite find the hands in front.
This has been a war of attrition this afternoon. A lot of injuries, and 7 minutes into this half, the players are sucking in the big ones. And I think as you said, the rotation policy of the bench will be very important this afternoon, with a game on Tuesday and then a game next Saturday as well. So quick turnaround, 3 games in 1 week. But being young and fit, that's easy, surely, isn't it?
I don't know. I just ticked over 30 chats, and yeah, I'm still fine, mate. I'm great. Sharp as.
I hurt myself getting out of bed the other day, so that's, yeah, over 40. There you go. So here we go. Let's not talk about that anymore. So New Zealand with an opportunity. They're taking the scrum from a penalty from offside. Was Minibi Nasaroa.
Crouch. Bind. Sit.
So what will New Zealand do here? Will they keep the ball at the back of the scrum? The shove's on. It looks like they're going to. Carter doesn't want it. Flanders controlling well. Carter goes out the back door there. He sees numbers and Carter's going to score. Great scrummage by New Zealand, and Carter sees a gap and goes for it. Too easy that time there.
So great set piece dominance from New Zealand. It really opens up avenues, and we're starting to see New Zealand. They're starting to find that mojo that Fiji robbed them of in that first half. Great forward momentum. Their second scrum of the day that really paid dividends, and they just couldn't put a hand on Leroy Carter as he ran down the blind side through 3 sets of defenders' hands. So good try there for the young halfback.
So Burke doesn't get the greatest purchase on that kick. Seems to be a bit lame in the right foot there, Marty, and he didn't actually hit that ball too well at all.
That's good equine chat from you there, Chets. That lame, but no. Hey, you see, that's like we've talked about. Big squads here, a lot of opportunity, and not all of them are present and playing tonight. But for those that are riding the pine at the moment, they're going to eagerly be waiting their turn to get out here onto the field and start putting some points on themselves, start impressing.
Just this right back. Yeah, thank you.
So Muntz, one more time with a kick-off. Doesn't want to do this many more times this evening. Goes to his left. Nice high kick-off. Knock on by New Zealand, their coach, and then New Zealand Rugby very, very keen to wrap those opportunities up. Quick tap by the Fiji, no. New Zealand back in the defensive line. So really interesting, those kickoffs, breakdowns. Hasn't been overly confident from the New Zealand from the kickoffs.
Another player down for the Fijians. Matave.
Shot.
He doesn't.
Okay, shot.
Looks like he's in a bit of pain there too.
That's fine now.
Yeah, and Tave's in a lot of pain there, and they're going to go for the shot at goal here, the Fijians, with still 30 minutes left, plenty of time.
Okay. Time off.
We'll just see what happened here when he came down. It looks like he's come down awkwardly.
Just looked like his foot got caught in the turf there. There we go, the bags of ice are out. That's got to be good.
Looks like he's going to leave the field of play. What do you call that one, Chets?
I'm not entirely sure, Marty. I'm sorry. I don't know. We might have to talk to Tapia about that later on.
Okay, time back on, none. Time back on.
Yeah, it's definitely been a game of 2 halves. In the first half, it was a very tight contest between both sides, but we're starting to see that grind from New Zealand. they're an 80-minute team, and they're just going to start going to work now. 30 minutes, that's 30 minutes of opportunity for them to start putting the points on. And, you know, saving a bit of face from that first half after Fiji did pretty well. But Fiji, they get this one into the double digits.
No, another one goes to the right-hand side for his radar's been off. Distance has been no worries, but radar right off this afternoon. New Zealand try to take the quick kick off, but no. So Burke with heavy strapping on his right boot. That one again, just out in the full.
On the full? Yeah.
And that's a coach killer.
Yeah. Option. Scramble. Yeah.
So obviously with Burke's injury, they're not overly serious because, as you said before, quick turnaround, quick games. You don't want to be carrying any injuries into next week. But obviously Burke's not too bad. But that kicking is a little bit off, seems to be.
But that's the passion and the pride of the players out there. Unless coach says time to come off the field, these boys, they're keen to sit in the saddle and play a full 80 minutes. They want to be out here. They're representing their country, and it's such an exciting time for these young men. And with the World Cup coming up for the under-20s as well, it's on the horizon. So more opportunities they get to adorn their national colours, the better.
Kurivole. Good scrum by both teams there. You can see the heads down, a lot of pressure in that front row. Muntz tries to look at his outside centre. Cece.
Bit of a seatbelting hit there. So the Fijians, once again, they're in a good attacking position.
It's a penalty only to
So Cece there, copping one round the chops.
Yeah, sure.
Here we go, the Fijians going for the line out, Marty. This is what we want to see. Let's see what they've got.
Well, they're learning from the mistakes. We've had 2 or 3 missed penalty conversion attempts today. So it's good to see them, getting in close. Let's try and get a little bit more intimate. Let's get close to that line. And let's work the line out, which for them today has had a pretty good success rate.
So what's Fiji got in store here? Up over the top. Salo. Ooh, scrappy ball. The scrum half takes it on the fly. Good contact by the Fijians in it. Busy breakdown. New Zealand with numbers there, keeping the Fijians off the ground. Fiji, the big number 19, fresh legs on the field. Cut down. Good tackle by Va'ai. So New Zealand now, good driving defence by the Kiwis. One more time, Marty, that's that pressure taken off every single time. McLeod with a big right foot kick, getting New Zealand out of trouble.
And the credit's got to go to the Fijians there. Yeah, they lost the ball in close, but they're forcing New Zealand to really get clean exit out there. They weren't trying any razzle-dazzle. They're just trying to get that exit and then try and see if they can force a turnover a bit further up in the field as opposed to on their own 22.
So Miramira with the right hand tap in.
Fijian lineout's been superb today.
Big crash ball by Ramoto Tapua. The big men, they've got big 12 and 13. Goes out the side. They're trying to find the numbers on the right-hand side every single time. The bounce of the ball flicks inside from New Zealand player. That is great play by the Kiwis. Fiji have to be good in defence right now. New Zealand. Va'ai at scrum half. No. Pushed out of the way by his regular scrum half, Carter. Carter gets out of trouble. No, he's just scrum half. Opposition, Kurivole.
They've got numbers to the left.
Wanga with good contact meters. Ramo Tabua. Now New Zealand just have to be patient in defence, and Fiji in attack as well. The big men in contact. So New Zealand all over the ball. Referee now getting a bit frustrated, I think, Marty.
I think they're going to get a warning.
too slow a couple of times, you have a chat to him. If he's too slow again to move at the tackle, yeah, he'll go to the bin. You're number 5.
And you see, you've got to... It's great attacking form from the Fijians here. They're rolling through, great speed, and they're forcing the New Zealanders. Their only option they've got to flirt with that line of, can we get away with something here? And, you know, it's on a knife's edge, and it just shows that the Fijians, even though they're a man down, they're still playing pretty hard.
Thank you. Yep.
And you've watched enough rugby to say there's always those cheeky players who push the envelope, don't they? They push the envelope and push it. Sometimes they get away with it, sometimes they get pinged.
And that's the difference, though, between being okay and being great. You've got to understand the game, you've got to understand the rules, and you've got to know where you can push, and you've got to know where you've got to not. It's all part of it.
So here we go, Fiji with a great opportunity. New Zealand scrum not going anywhere, but a great scrum by both teams. Muntz goes again, steals that ball. Good defence by New Zealand. Muntz his opportunities have been very slim at times, but he's not giving much service a couple of times out to his bigger centres.
Yeah, centre field here, Chets, it'll be interesting to see if they're going to kick for that exit. They're not going to get the depth that they would usually want, so it'll be interesting to see if we're going to see some tactical kicking out the back, looking for some free real estate and seeing some runners run into it. What a great chopping tackle this was. Good tackle by Rehana. Number 26, one of the substitutes. We're starting to see a few roll through, and on screen, Simon Parker is packing down at the back of the scrum for New Zealand also.
Bind!
So Carter feeding the scrum. Good solid scrum by New Zealand. Pick out to the back door. Sees his number 15. Who's got that arm heavily strapped from earlier in the first half. Ball hits the deck. Waha looks around. What's going to happen here? Puts a ball to his right boot. Oh, the big prop, Norris. What's he doing over there, Marty?
I don't think he caught up to the play yet.
Finds that ball, hits the deck.
That is a handy kick. And I spoke about it just before. They weren't in the best position on the back of that scrum to be kicking for touch. They didn't want to invite the Fijians back in. So we saw the game of foursy backs go through, and that's the touch you want. You want to find that bit of empty real estate, kick it over the sideline. Sure, Fiji got the ball back, but now they're inside their own half.
Coming out of trouble. And that's that foot on the throat mentality from New Zealand rugby. I think it's just embedded and ingrained in them. So here we go. Over the top. Here we go. Oh, good take there. Mirror. New Zealand. Try to get on the outside of the Kiwis one more time.
Oh.
Lightning with an offload. New Zealand with numbers on the ball. Turnover.
Spilt again.
McLeod. Carter finds one of the forwards. Gets out of trouble there, Carter, one more time.
Kiwis have got a few players down all around the field at the moment, but they've got space on the outside, and here they go.
Lalamilo, one more time. Plenty of room out there. The big barnstorming 14. He's been very good this afternoon. The scrum half finds his runners, hits the deck. There's a sniper out there somewhere. Norris offloads to his winger. The winger, Lalamilo. Surely got to be close. You might look there, Marty. It's Lalamilo, the big winger, scoring a try.
Yeah, he was very active on that right-hand side of the field for New Zealand in the play. He had a couple of really good touches before, we saw an attempt from Rehana fall just a little bit short. We're going to see it there. So he starts off by getting that pass out. They've got to move it really well. And Lalamio goes through. He has the first initial run, pulls up 5 metres short. Coming on next, bit of a stumble from Rehana, and then it's really getting into a bit of a scrummage there between the players, but then he puts his head down, burrows through, and Lalamilo comes through and finds the 5, and now it's our old friend Brett Cronin on the far side touch that lets us know.
So, 32 points to 7. 15-7 at half time. So, and if you're just joining us, Fiji have had one player sent off for a tipping tackle. Number 11, Epilai Momo. Sure, we won't hear the last of that one this week, but Marty, just that foot in the throat mentality from the Kiwis, just putting pressure on right till, right from the very start of the second half all the way through. So Rivers Rahana makes no mistake there. One more time, Muntz with the kickoff. Down to the 22. New Zealand will be good on this one here. Funaki. Fresh legs on the field.
Yeah, we hit that 60-minute mark there, Chets, and we're really starting to see the revolving door for New Zealand go through. One thing I really took away from that last try, we had some footage there. The whole group was sitting there. They were doing that calming breathing exercise. They're very composed out there, New Zealand, and they're really, you see, they're going through their paces. They're practicing what they preach, and I think they're really going to want to open this game up now, try and hunt for the, find the 50, see what they can go beyond that.
Yeah, we see plenty of fresh legs out there for New Zealand now. Cohen Herbert for 23 for New Zealand. 25 is Funaki as well. Fiji just getting over the gain line there. Minimbi. Very strong all afternoon, Minimbi. Muntz, good purchase, but Rehana equal to the task.
It's Fiji, they're going to have a hard time with the kicking game. They are down a winger as well. So they've really got to make sure if they're going to play that territory kicking game, they're not kicking it down the throat of their opposition, because then they're just inviting them to come back with more force.
Funaki is going to scrum up. Funaki breaks one or two tackles. We've got New Zealand players down everywhere at the moment. Marty, we saw before.
Okay, first one is a knock on black. Then we've had a knock on white.
They're dropping like flies out there, and it's, I think it's a testament to how hard we're seeing both of these teams play. We're seeing cramps, we're seeing the ice coming out more than in a David Attenborough documentary about the caps melting. It's a hard-fought game here, and Fiji, even though they're the man down, they're staying in it. They're not rolling over and just letting New Zealand, take what they want when they want. So it's good to see from the Fijians. They're going to hold in there. I think from here on out in the last 18 minutes, that deficit's pretty big now. I think the aim of the game is just going to be, right, let's try to stem the bleeding and let's try and just work on a few core things. Get back to what we were doing early in the first half. It worked, but I think also we're going to have to start seeing some subs, because those Fijians, they're getting tired.
Well, we've seen from the New Zealand players, a lot of people on the ground today, so they've given everything, of course, playing for their country, but the hitting from Fiji at 62 minutes still hurts. I can tell you much right now.
First black, then white.
So fresh legs for Fiji as well on the park now.
There'll be a bit of patience now that we're seeing some new players in both front rows. They're going to want to let them just find their legs, get the feel for the scrum. New Zealand packed down their entire new front row in the form of Klein, Dyer and Newell. And then we're also seeing that New Zealand forward pack has been bolstered by even more subs. So this is a big ask, and there we go. We're seeing a penalty go against New Zealand. Intentionally standing up there in the front row. So even though they've got the fresh players on, Chets, it's not equating to a supreme victory, especially in the scrum time.
I just want to put a bit of a focus on there. New Zealand, Fijians. Oh, hang on, hold the phone. We'll come back to that later on. New Zealand now with Rahana looking out wide to his wing three-quarter partner, Tupaia. Fiji trying to reef that ball out of his arms, no avail. Rahana one more time. He's very busy this afternoon. Rahana, short ball to his big second row colleague. Out the back door, New Zealand. There's numbers out here if they use it. There's only big forwards out there, but no, they're trying to go on the outside. You're right, Marty. Klein, Shiloh Klein.
Boom.
Klein. Big contact there, but the big men collide.
Former Bond University player Josh Little.
Fresh front rows are sometimes the most lethal, and there's the three of them working in sync. What a fantastic run that was from Dyer.
Front row to front row. That is golden. Here we go. Numbers on the right-hand side. Fiji. Are they in some trouble? They've rallied well, the big Fijians. I think the fresh legs have really sparked something, Marty, this afternoon. Simon Parker, the big lanky second rower, back rower. Flick inside ball. That is one of the best flicks you'll see. 1 metre from the line. Fiji are going to be good to hold the Kiwis out. Funaki looking around. Fiji have rumbled down there, and the referee has penalised the Fijians. But Marty, that's good confidence. Have a flick pass 5 metres out from the line.
Yeah, they're on display now. They've got 15 minutes left in this match. They're really going to start going through their paces, see what they come up with. And that no-look flick pass behind the back, he knew that Lalamilo was there running onto it, hunting for his hat-trick for the day, but he'll fall just a few metres short. But I'm really impressed by the three Musketeers, Klein, Dyer and Newell, who've come on for the front row for New Zealand. They've thrusted themselves into the game, and they've really taken centre stage in the last 5 minutes.
There's nothing better than seeing a front row pass to a front rower. How good's that in rugby? It's champagne football. You've got to appreciate that. You're a forward. Surely.
I don't know, mate. You spend enough years packing in behind second rowers. They don't smell that great when you're that close to them, mate. In the middle of a scrum. So, I want to see second rowers passing to one another, but that's just me.
So scrum time here. The big fella one more time coming off his wing. New Zealand picking and driving. Rumbling up the middle. Only a couple of metres to go.
And you got to watch this. They're going to try to suck the Fijian defenders in, and then we're going to see this thing fly out wide.
So for now, there's a big cutout ball.
Bang.
And there's a try time to Tupaia.
And it was only a matter of time there. The Fijians were getting sucked in like a black hole around that breakdown. You can see you could throw a blanket over about 10 bodies. There was just so much opportunities both on the left and the right-hand side. There's a bit of ruck watching there, but it was always going to be an easy one for Quinn Tupaia to get across. So another try to the New Zealanders with a conversion to come, and still just under 13 minutes of play left. So lots of opportunities for the New Zealand. That's probably going to be the mentality they've got. They're going to want to get as many as they can and really start running through it.
So strikes at Rahana one more time. Another conversion. New Zealand starting to run away with the game a little bit. 41 points to 7 with about 14 minutes to go in this World Cup year. But again, Marty, some really promising signs. Okay, the score's a little bit of a blowout now, but Fiji, very proud. They've got to be proud of what they did in the first half. Yeah. In Spates, they've done very, very well, but just that New Zealand pressure has been really typical New Zealand.
Yeah, I think the Fijians, one of the biggest things they can take away from this first match is look at the growth that they've done in 12 months. Where were they 12 months ago? Where were they 24 months ago? New Zealand is still a top-class side, but the display from Fiji tonight is showing that the pathway's developing, the players that are involved in it, they're getting better skills, and they're holding their own. Like, we haven't seen just utter dominance at scrum time. We've seen, it's been a pretty even battle except for a few short occasions. We've seen the Fijians playing really simple, elegant style of game. And it turned into a bit of a game of attrition, and New Zealanders, they're marathon runners who can sprint the whole time for some games, and it's a good reputation to have.
Mate, I'll write that one down. That's a good one. So Natoga trying to get out of trouble there. The number 26 fullback there just got in a little bit of trouble with about 3 or 4 New Zealanders all over him. So Rehana finds the line.
And I wouldn't be surprised now if we're going to see a driving maul option from New Zealand. They're going to start wanting to run through everything in that playbook. They're in game scenario. It's an international match right now. No better time. So I'll be really interested to see if they can do a driving maul here and try to find another 5.
So nice straight throw by Klein. Setting it up like Marty. You've picked it perfectly. Fiji trying to ruin that driving maul. But that's a try time for the man who threw the ball in, Shiloh Klein. And you're right, just do those game situations and comes out on top.
And that's it. That's the big thing for them. They've got to start thinking, right, we've got 11 minutes of play left, but what haven't we done yet in this game? We need to start rolling through because this is the best practice they're going to get. When they get to that World Cup later in the year, they're not going to have these opportunities. These are the matches where they're starting to figure out, right, who's throwing the better line out, who's taking it cleaner, how are we going to do this? And it's all building towards having just the best execution and the best 80 minutes performances they can have. And that's their thing. Every game, it's always about making it better, making it better. And, you know, they've been sitting at the top for so many years, but still, this is their mentality. They're always working.
So Rehana makes no mistake one more time. His 3rd conversion for the afternoon.
Conversion successful, makes the score New Zealand 48, Fiji 7.
So just under 10 minutes to go on this first game of the Oceania Under-20s Championships. Live from Bond University in Queensland, where we have some great weather today and yesterday. One more time, kick off with Calabunts. Rehana get into contact there. Fiji are not throwing the towel in yet. The hits are even as hard as they were in the first minute. Ball goes deep. Bounces off there. We got a Falcon. The ball bounces up there to Dyer. Dyer looking on the inside. The New Zealanders are everywhere. The big number 5 is Vi. Will he roll over? Try time. Try time, Vi. Well, end-to-end rugby, Marty Lippiatt.
Coast to coast. Really great stuff from New Zealand. They've been switched on every minute of this game, and even with the new subs, the subs are out there trying to do everything that they can. And it was a great pick-up there from Dyer. Obviously didn't have the legs, gets that offload, but they give it to the big old Tupou Va'ai. And you see he's fallen 2 metres short of the line, but the guy has a wingspan of 6.5 metres, so he was always going to get there. And I believe that's his second for the night. Jeez. Yeah, good on the second rowers.
They'll take that every day of the week.
Yeah.
Rehana doesn't hit that one overly well that time.
New Zealand 53, Fiji 7.
So 53 points to 7. So he's directly after this game. Well, a little bit of time. The 7 o'clock kickoff. We've got Japan under-20s versus Australia under-20s. And Marty, that one should be an interesting afternoon.
Yeah,
interesting game.
It is. Obviously, the home side, you know, everyone's out here. There'll be a lot more fans in the stands that'll know a lot more of the home side boys. Some of those boys playing in the local Premier Grade competition. But Japan, what an exciting story they've been. Obviously, I think when the Cherry Blossoms got that victory against South Africa in the last World Cup, and you know, the month to month, the week to week, just Japan as a rugby nation, they're just so exciting, and they are just so wonderful to have to play against and play with. So I think they're going to be it's going to be a really interesting matchup tonight between those two sides.
So Muntz with one more time. We've said that too many times this evening for Fijians' liking. So a bit scrappy there at the breakdown. New Zealand reloading, drop ball, ball goes to ground. Rama Totopua puts it on the toe, but New Zealand are happy to calm it all down with a kick. But no, sorry, I thought they were going out the back door for a kick, but New Zealand, plenty of points left in them this afternoon. This time they're going to Reihana. Reihana gets plenty on that purchase right down to the halfway line. So more substitutes for the Fijian under-20s team. So the skipper Ekanavare still on the field. Good line out by the Fijian players. Big number 22. Sonogana Wasaloa. Good short ball there by Fiji. They get on the outside, but they've dropped the ball one more time. This happened too many times this afternoon, Marty. Just that little bit of a bobble in contact.
Yeah, it's been a real coach killer for the Fijians. We saw them really holding onto that ball a lot more in the first half, the first 30 minutes. We're seeing tired bodies out there, and it's if they just held onto it a little bit more, they can support. But the thing is now, New Zealand are coming at them with everything, including the kitchen sink. So it's like we said earlier, they have they haven't scored in about 40 minutes of gameplay. New Zealand they're just working through it, going through the motions. It's like I said before, Fiji have just got to try and stem the bleeding. There's 5 minutes left. Hold them off from 60. That should be, the goal that we have here. Keep them down. But, if we look, like I said, if we look back to how this matchup went last year, it's a massive improvement for the Fijians. And it's all about the great, the bigger plan, isn't it?
I was just holding my breath there, Marty, because there was another rib tickler right there as well. So New Zealand, McLeod looking for his outside runners. Good bumping tackle. So holding on.
See, these are the moments where Fiji they've got to pick their battle, try to get themselves to within striking zone, and try and find some more points just to finish off the day.
So some tired bodies out there. With about just under 5 minutes to go. So let's see what Fiji has in store for the last few minutes. We saw them score just before half-time. Some exciting rugby. Let's see what they've got in their bag of tricks. Goes on the outside, cleaned up by New Zealand out the back door. The big Kiwis rumbling through one more time. Shiloh Klein, the try scorer from before. New Zealand with another out the ball. Reihana, McLeod, looking at his big 13. Here's the wing. Another one's just gone a bit too far over the top. Lalamilo out to Tuala. But unfortunately, just overcooked it a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a long 77 minutes so far. 3.5 minutes remaining. And somehow I think the Kiwis, they want to find 60.
So loose ball hits the deck. Fijians don't make that tackle. But there we go. Funaki with that billowing hairstyle. Sees his big second row part friend. I want to have a big guy like him on my team every day of the week. Funaki, quick ball out the right-hand side.
They're in a great attacking position here, New Zealand. They just keep it simple. They keep grinding through every runner on the balls, finding meters across the advantage line. Now just simple through the hands, wham, bam, out it goes. So
I've really enjoyed this afternoon, the short passing play by the Kiwis. They just catch and pass, get the players on the outside of their outside man. Hasn't gone to hand a few times, but it's the right idea. Quick hands with the bigger players.
Especially when they're looking to play on the outside, it's the right move to make. They've got the advantage out wide every single time playing against 14 players. So if they keep it simple, playing close quarters through the hands, they're getting results from it. And with just over 2 minutes on the clock, one more try for them will, I think redeem the first half, which they probably weren't overly happy with, because Fiji really kind of stuck it to them in that opening 40 minutes. And that man on screen, he's been huge today, Sam Gilbert. An 80-minute performance from him. And there's a handful of players within this side for New Zealand playing a solid 80 minutes today. So I think Scott Gregory, the other coaching and managing staff of the New Zealand side, they can be. I think they'll be happy with today, but there's definitely things they can improve upon.
So big scrum by the Kiwis. So penalty to New Zealand. Oh, the front rowers love it in the front rowers club when they dominate a scrum like that. George Dyer. So just that dominating scrum there. You can see the loose head prop just twisting his opposite number. And Fiji being put back with just pure, at this stage of the game, Marty, comes down to class. It just comes down to technique as well. And that's because everyone's so tired.
And, these are the most telling times of a game, Chet's. Everyone's tired. So if New Zealand can execute their playbook clean, then it's a testament to all the work that they've done, and it makes them a fearsome opponent. And here's the driving maul. It's spat out like a pumpkin seed.
So for I, and then got off to 23. Who was that? That was the big fella, Herbert, reaching out, but I think it was 2 metres too short.
Full time.
And that's it, Marty.
Full time.
So New Zealand take the lead and the win, 53 points to 7, 15-7 at half time. So a real telling shot just after half time, Marty, with that send-off.
Yeah, it was definitely a game of two halves. Obviously 15-7 as we went into the half-time break, and then we come out and within 3 minutes we see that dangerous tackle result in the red card. Fiji are down a player for the remainder of the second half. We see a healthy rotation of subs, especially in the New Zealand forward pack, that really brought it home. We saw he started seeing them just picking pages from the playbook and executing.
That was a really enjoyable first half of rugby for Fiji, and I think you've got to take, like you said, you've watched it for many years now, and that is really rewarding, getting a good try just before half time. But that's it for the first game this evening. 53 points to 7. Coming up next, Australia versus New Zealand. Marty,
Australia versus Japan.
Oh, sorry, Australia versus Japan.
That's next Saturday,
sorry, I got excited. Sorry.
I know you did.
Australia versus Japan. So you'll be taking that one there. It's going to be an enjoyable evening.